Alright guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we'll be drawing Copernicus from Unicorn Warriors Eternal. So let's get into it. Alright, rather than starting off with the circle, we're going to go in and just start sketching out this cylinder shape for the head. And right below that, we could just put in this bending rectangle shape, if that even makes sense. But you could see how it kind of like curving around right here. Next, we're going to move up top to the head, and we're going to put in this curving line going across the head right here. And right on top, we could just do a similar shape what we did to the head for the rest of the hat. Then we could just grab our selector tool and we could just select the neck, I guess it is. And we could just come here and just move it up a bit. And then we could just erase some of these lines right here. Afterwards, we could just bring down this center line coming down right here. Now back to the face, we could start putting in these simple shapes. So we could start putting in these circles for the eyes. Right on the center line, we could put in like this triangle shape for the nose. And then right around the eyes, we could put in this square like shape going around. And at the bottom of that, we could draw in like these little curves here for the mouth. And then we could add in these lines going across for the teeth. And I noticed like Copernicus had like, the piano teeth, like the keys on a piano. So that's funny. Right, so right here underneath the teeth, we could draw a line coming across here. And you can see we kind of thickening up the neck a bit, so we kind of bringing it higher. And then afterwards, we could just erase the guideline or the leftover lines. It's right there. Next, on a new layer, we could just go in here and draw in a circle. And to get a perfect circle, all you want to do is you're going to start drawing in the circle. And while you end it off, have two fingers placed on the screen or the tablet. And then you should lock in a perfect circle. Now we could grab both layers with the head and the body, and we could go ahead and shrink it down a bit with our selector tool. So just like that. Next, we could grab our selector tool again, and we could just grab the head and we could just shrink it down a bit. Now we could go over and grab the circle for the body. And we could just like, make that slightly bigger, bring it down. And now we could just grab the head and just, rotate it a bit and set it into position. Next, onto the body, we could just draw 4 curving lines going around the circle. And this would just be the input for like, the arms and the legs. Alright, so right at the bottom here, we could start working on the left leg. So notice how it kind of like coming out right here. It kind of a lot wider and kind of like coming towards us a bit. And right in the back of that, we could start working on the right leg. So this kind of like moving away from us, so you could see how it kind of getting narrow as it come down. And next, we could just put in these curving lines going around both legs. Then on the outside, we could draw these curving lines going around the legs. So we just continuing this curving pattern or this curving technique going around the legs. Okay, cool. Now we can move up top and we could start bringing down the left arm. So coming down right here. And once we finish with that, we could just draw these curving lines curving around the arm. And right at the end there, we could start drawing in the hand. And just putting the fingers. And next, we could just draw these other curving lines on the outside curving around the arm. Next, we could move over to the right and we could drop in the circle for the palm of the hand. And we could just, move it up a bit with the selector tool. Then we could just put in the detail in the inside right there. Now going around it, we could start dropping in all the fingers. And then put in this little curving details going around the fingers right here. Then afterwards, we could bring down this line connecting, the palm of the hand to the body. And then we could just do a similar technique what we do to the left arm to the right. So just going around, you know, drawing in all these curves. And we could just, you know, move it up a bit with the selector tool. Then we could just put in the detail to the right arm. Okay, we finished with that. Now we could start adding the details to the body. Alright, so now we're on the body. And right here in the center, we could add in the center plate coming down. Next, we could add in the circles coming down the center plate. And then right across the body, we just go and start putting in these curving lines going across the body. So it's just like these crisscrossing lines. Next, we could just add in these tiny little circles for the little details. And right on the left hand side, we could draw in these 2 circles. Then we could add in the details for the clocks, I believe it is. Alright guys, so we finished with the sketch. Now we're going to kick it into time lapse to do all the inking and add in a bit of detail into there. Alright guys, so we're back after the time lapse. So as you can see, Copernicus looking clean. And like I said before, I added a bit of extra details so you could see like these like dark areas. There's basically details for the metal. So during the time lapse process, you know, feel free to slow down that part. Alright guys, with that being said, let's move on to adding in all the colors. And for the eyes, just make sure you put it on a separate layer from the body because we will add like a glow to the eyes later. Alright guys, while we're going in and adding in all the colors, just let me know what you think about Copernicus, because I ain't gonna lie, in the beginning he kinda creeped me out a little bit because you know how the whole setting was in the beginning. Spoiler alert, it was like from a cemetery and he don't talk, and I don't know why, but afterwards it was like okay, he kinda cool. But the other thing too, I believe like I think he gave the you know, the powers to the wrong people. I'll just say that. But yeah, just let me know what you think about Copernicus, you know. And at some points, he kinda funny with the gestures he be doing. But yeah, just let me know what you guys think about him. Awesome, we finished with all the colors. Now we can move on to adding in the shadow. And for the shadow, it's gonna be easy. All we want to make sure is we have a layer above the color layer, set to clipping, and we just gonna apply it all over Copernicus. And then we just go and grab the eraser tool and we just go and erase most of the outside of Copernicus. So right here, we're gonna erase some of that shadow. So just going in here and just, you know, moving a bit fast through this part, but just, you know, feel free to slow it down. We just gonna apply it all over. And that's just to show that, you know, Copernicus in shadow. And then for the final part, we just gonna add a bloom to the eyes. So just to give it that glow effect, so we could go ahead and add a bloom to the eyes. And then we could just go ahead and duplicate that layer a bunch of times just to help that glow shine more. Oh, and wait, we forgetting one more thing, but I don't know what it is. Oh, I remember. And bam, there you have it guys, the final illustration. Hope you learned something, hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you guys on the next one. Alright, see ya.